Hey guys, it's Jack. Today we're going to be covering the 5 mistakes you can easily end up making with your finances, which will cost you money both in the short term and in the long term if you're not careful, and these mistakes go unnoticed. Unlike what you usually hear on YouTube, I personally believe you can spend money on takeaways and Starbucks as long as you get all of these 5 things mentioned next right. Keeping your finances in check can seem more complicated than it really is, but hopefully by watching this video you'll be equipped to not only save yourself a lot of money and time, but also be more relaxed and less worried about your finances and your investments. Now, if you are renting, the best thing you can do, depending on the simple criteria I'm going to be mentioning next, is buying a house as soon as you can. In the UK, houses are generally a safer investment than stocks. I'll get to why I believe this in a second, but the benefits are clear. You get to save your money towards rent and put that money towards paying down a mortgage and getting ownership every single month, but also the fact that you get to profit from the bank's money with a house purchase. An example of how this would work is that a 20% deposit of £50,000 may get you a house for 250k. That's 200k that the bank will put up that's not yours, but you'll still be able to profit from it. This process is called leverage. The house goes up by 10%, and now that 200k the bank put up is now worth 220k due to the 10% increase in the property's value. Now the bank doesn't care about a 20k increase. You can go ahead and sell the house, keep it. It's not going to increase your interest payments based on the 10% factor alone. But what you have just done is that you've just increased your net worth by 25k by just putting in 50k yourself, a 50% return on investment. A house goes up by 10%, a £5,000 increase from your 50k investment, and a 20k increase from the bank's 200k investment. Yes, that's not including broker fees and all the transaction-related costs associated with a house purchase, but the point still stands. You get to make money from an appreciating asset with leverage, with borrowed money. And we aren't even talking about the fact that you'll be saving all the rent money as well, which may as well outweigh all these transaction fees. Before I give you my reasons why I think the property and the housing market is actually safer than stocks in the UK, there is certain criteria you need to meet to take advantage of the house buying opportunities. Number 1, you don't move around much. If you are moving around a lot, renting may be cheaper because houses aren't easy to sell and buy quickly. I would say if you're planning to stay in one area for around 7 years, it might be better to buy a house in the area instead of renting. Number 2 is whether you can afford it. And I'm not just talking about the deposits here, but whether on a monthly basis you're able to cover the repayment mortgage and still have a lot of money left over to live a comfortable, stress-free life. Also, there is no point moving to a cheaper area if you aren't going to be able to get the same high-paying jobs that are available in big cities like London. Yes, you might be able to save on a house on rent, but you will lose money on the salary you attract in smaller areas. Your net income will still be lower. Now, why would I think that houses are a safer investment than stocks in the UK? Well, primarily because what happened during March of 2020 and how the UK and the wider financial system reacted. There was a massive issue back then. People were being laid off left, right and center. People weren't spending money in shops, which meant there was even less companies with less money to pay staff, which led to more layoffs. It was a complete financial meltdown. But what happened to the housing market? People got mortgage holidays. A lot of support was available from banks and the FCA, with home repossession being essentially banned till the end of 2021. And none of this affected anybody's credit ratings, and the government even boosted up house prices by reducing stamp duty, which meant there was a flood of people that were incentivized to buy houses. Now, why would the government do this? Well, in the UK specifically, a lot of the economy is dependent on the property and the construction sector. That's one of the reasons why there's so many schemes available from the government, such as the controversial Help to Buy scheme. Let's face it, you had huge issues in 2020 and 2021, but house prices continued to shoot up. You don't get that extra support in the stock market. If your investments crash due to a financial meltdown, you're going to have to wait several years for the stock to recover, even if they recover. And if you're using leverage, borrowed money in the stock market during a crash, your account can be completely wiped out with not even a penny left over. Now, if you're just starting your career or in a career path for a number of years, the next mistake will really apply to you, and that is choosing or continuing a career that pays you poorly or that you're not passionate about. And I'll explain the best method, how to exactly map out a job that pays you well, and how exactly this can all affect your finances in a very significant way. But before I do, I'm going to give you an example of how things can pan out if you're not careful. I've had a couple of friends who have picked degrees based on huge salary prospects in their respective fields. They've gone about and actually completed degree, done all the necessary qualification needed for that role, got in those roles to find out the salary they were expecting was never there. It did not exist in that industry. They have now had to switch roles and career paths altogether. Not only have they gone about and wasted all the time studying for something they weren't going to even use, but also wasted time they could have been working and getting paid for their work if they just picked the right career path from the start. In reality, this has added up to tens of thousands of pounds in losses, both in studying costs and opportunity costs. I've had another friend who has picked the right career path, gone about and actually got the job, and now finds that although the career is well paid, the passion for the industry is simply not there, and there's something more interesting they might be wanting to do instead with their life. Now, this simply occurs because how human beings are wired. We love wishful thinking, believing things because we want them to be true. Now, to defeat this, take a good hard look at your career path or the next step before actually going ahead with it and wasting time on a specific course or pursuing a specific job opportunity. What you really want to do is look for somebody who's already in that position. Message them on LinkedIn or give them a cold email. People love talking about their lives and careers. Trust me, 4 out of 10 people will give you the time of day to respond to specific questions you ask them about their job. Using this information you get from them, you can easily picture yourself and think, is this really what I want to do? If it is what you really want to do and you just want to get a better understanding of the salary, go to a job listing board and actually check what the salary is paid for that position. Now, granted, some of the listings won't display a salary, but you can easily get in touch with the recruitment agency behind the company, behind the job, and you can simply ask what the range for that salary would be for that role and what experience you would need. This will save you a lot of time and money and put yourself in a right career path for you. The Japanese have a great formula you can use to find a career path right for you. It simply works like this. Imagine a Venn diagram or where you can plot the things you love in one section. You're just really passionate about these things here. I'm going to do this with a made-up example, but you can follow along as well. I'm going to do this with a made-up person called Tim. Let's just say Tim likes the stock market. Another section, you write down things you're really good at, or just know that you can be good at this. Tim is really good at photography in our imaginary example. Another section, you write down the things the world may need, or specifically industries may need. The world needs news, so I'm just going to put that in this example. And lastly, write something that pays you well. Some sectors of journalism will pay you really well for argument's sake, so I'm going to put that in this example. From this exercise, we can see that Tim can do something like financial journalism. He can live and breathe his passion for the stock market, use his photography skills, and do something that will pay him well as well. Now, this concept is called Ikigai, and it goes way deeper than what I've discussed here, but it's all about marrying up your passion, skills, and what the world will pay you for as much as possible for financial self-care and happiness. When you're passionate about something, guys, you will do a much greater job at it, and you'll be financially rewarded for it as long as there is demand for it in the world. Now, if you are all about saving money, the fourth mistake will really apply to you, and that is saving money in the wrong way. And this idea really stems from the quote, "Don't step over the pound to pick up the pennies." If you're all about cost cutting in every aspect of your life, you're going to miss out on a lot of opportunities to make friends, to make memories, to create experiences. And not only that, it's a whole mindset shift. If you're thinking about where I can save the next pound, you're not thinking about where I can make the next pound. And I know I'm just sounding like some motivational speaker there, but trust me, I'm just trying to tell you my experience. In life, get the big, more impactful things right, like reducing your mortgage payments by thousands because you hired a professional mortgage advisor that got you a better interest rate, or hiring a gardener to clean your garden for £10 an hour if you know your time is worth more than that, and you can spend that time making more money or focusing on learning a skill that will make you more money in the future. The fourth mistake is for anyone who is going to university, and that is paying off your student loan early. Overpaying your student loan could end up costing you more in specific circumstances. In the UK, the student loan system works kind of like a tax rather than a debt. In fact, unlike a car loan or a mortgage, a student loan is not even on your credit file. That's because it's tied completely to the amount of money you make. At the moment, you have to make £27,295 before you repay back anything. Remember, it's not 9% of £27,295. They're skimming only 9% of anything you make over that. As an example, if you had, let's say, made 30k income before tax, that's £2,705 over. So you will pay exactly something like £243 a year. That's like £20 a month, which is simply nothing to worry about. Your student loan will get wiped off completely after 30 years, so the likely reality is that you're just going to be having to pay this 9% tax for that time. It's estimated that 83% of graduates that started in 2012 or later will never actually pay their student loan off in full. So if you do fall into this category, it doesn't make sense for you to repay your loan faster. The only reason you should be paying your student loan off early If indeed you are expected to be on a high salary and have started, being on a high salary, then you should be looking to pay this off early because you're going to have to pay it off anyway, albeit with more interest later. Now, the fifth mistake may surprise you, so brace yourself, and that is indeed investing in the stock market. What? Investing in the stock market? That's your entire channel. Yes, although there are great reasons why you should invest in the markets, there are even greater reasons why you shouldn't. The first one is opportunity cost. Let's just say you're running a business and you can use the money you are going to invest in the markets to buy more stock in your business or spend that money on marketing. Basically, reinvest that money back into your business. You might be able to 3x your revenue by taking a calculated risk on yourself. I personally believe there is a reduced risk when it comes to investing in yourself, because when things come to us, you will work hard to make sure you get a good return on your investment. Either that's with researching the right market or the right product, or indeed getting your marketing right. In the stock market, you are giving this control over to people that you don't even know when you're investing. Now, that obviously applies if you have a greater opportunity elsewhere to invest for better returns. I don't, so that's why I invest in the stock market. It might be even worth thinking about how much money you are investing with and whether that actually makes sense for you. If you're investing with a couple of £100 to £1,000 for the entire year, is it really worth researching stocks and index funds for a 10% average yearly growth rate? So turning £1,000 into 1,100. Investing is a great idea, but it's not worth your time if you have no desire to increase the amount you're investing with. You can spend that time working instead of researching and make more money in a day or less. It's unlikely that you're going to turn that £1,000 into 3-4k or more every single time, or even once. So just spend your time wisely. If you did watch this video to the end, please do leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts, questions, anything really. It tells YouTube that this lad's video wasn't too bad at all, and it'll push it further. While you're there, if it's not pushing it too much, please do leave a like as well. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.